Oh, my friend Gage is gonna talk to you. Oh, and John Claude, he'll be there, too. Even though they're not close together, they're far away. One's in Tampa, the other one's in LA. Oh, Gage, what's the show called again?
Fucking, it's Almost Adults. Shit.
Almost adult. Shit.
Welcome to Almost Adults. Episode we're gonna stop counting because we might switch them around.
Mm-hmm.
Today we have Jean-Claude Guidi as our guest, and I'm with my co-host, David Maisel.
Hello, hello.
Hey. So David and I went to college together, and every time we went to a party, it was usually at his house, and he always had the best life stories because he was a little bit older than us, about 6 months older than us, and he did crazy things for those 6 months.
I was the creepy old guy that could buy college students alcohol, I guess.
Yeah, we went to his house and we're like, hey man, we don't have enough money for cigarettes. Do you have some of those? And he's like, it'll cost you 20 cents a piece.
But wait, Gage, you can buy cigarettes at 18. We wouldn't have needed that.
Then why wouldn't they sell me cigarettes?
Oh, baby boy. Don't worry about it.
I did recently go to a bar. Well, not recently, but a while back I went to a bar and they're like, hey, can I see your ID? And I'm like, yeah, I know. I look like I'm 12. They're like, no. You look 16. It's fine.
You do kind of have a baby face, but that's good because when you're 30, you're just going to be rocking it, dude.
I'll be dead by 25. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
You'll probably outlive all of us, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
No, dude, I have the worst health problems. I have not been dieting. I have not been exercising. You do all that, and I'm pretty sure David does all that as well.
I just bought BOGO Ben & Jerry's at Publix, and it's almost gone. So I won't say I'm dieting.
Oh, what flavor?
I got,
We always do this with our transitions. We try to make it seem so natural, and then one of us points it out like, that was so natural and smooth, dude. And that never works out.
I'm a big fan of cookie dough. I will die for cookie dough.
Cookie dough is the shit. I agree.
I love cookie dough, but I can never get cookie dough with chocolate ice cream. Have you ever had that where it's like too much chocolate in your mouth?
I didn't realize they even produced chocolate ice cream with cookie dough.
No, I'm thinking of Moose Tracks. I apologize. Moose Tracks Extreme, where they have like chocolate ice cream and doubled the peanut butter buttercup.
Oh, yeah. That is a little bit excessive. That's my same kind of knowledge whenever I went into the ice cream shops and they had the Superman flavor or the birthday cake where it just was way too extravagant and just nasty looking of an ice cream.
Oh, man, I used to be able to down like a gallon of ice cream. Now I'm just like, I can down like a half a gallon of ice cream. I'm not what I used to be.
I had the same problem with donuts.
I couldn't do more than 2 donuts at a time.
I used to be able to like get a whole dozen and just, because we'd go on Boy Scout camping trips, and before we left in the morning, some parent would always purchase like 2 dozen of donuts, and all the boys would always have 1 donut because most of the guys in my troop were kind of verging on like young adolescent obese. So they only had 1 donut.
You can just say that they're fat.
Okay, yeah. So
how many of your Boy Scout friends actually listen to this?
Well, Alex maybe.
And Alex is a huge tubster, as I'm led to believe.
True, he's a big boy.
You know what? On the tip of my tongue, I'm like, I still haven't met Alex. I feel like that's just going to be a thing from now on. I'm just going to tell
you finally met him, like...
Yes, I met him. He was on this podcast just 2 episodes ago.
So anyways, I ate like a whole 12 donuts back then, but then today someone brought in donut holes into the clinic, and I could only eat like 3 before feeling just like overloaded on sugar.
Oh man. See, that's why I gotta cut down on sugar, man, because like recently I just got back into desserts, and like I said, I've been eating half gallons of ice cream when I'm just like, you know what, this day is terrible.
So let's actually go back. I've actually
sorry, our original topic.
Not about ice cream. No. Let's scrap that for right now. I actually want to talk about exercise and staying physically fit.
Yeah.
Because I've been so I'll go into cycles where I'll be able to work out pretty consistently for a good month, and then for some reason or another we'll have like a crazy test week or something where I get knocked out of my cycle, and then I won't work out for another month. And I'll lose, because once you work out for enough times you start to crave it a little bit.
Yeah.
So I've only just recently started getting back into the zone where come 8 o'clock at night I'll be like, oh yeah, it's time for me to go downstairs and work out. I'm really looking forward to it, and I've been very happy about that.
Nice, dude.
So what about you guys? How do you guys feel about physical fitness?
I try to stay fit, even though it doesn't show. I'm not trying to do it to look good, because I recently got engaged. I'm not trying to impress anyone anymore. She is locked in for life with a fat dude.
Oh, you're just
Very
trying to
handsome
impress
fat dude.
us with your engagement. By the way, congratulations.
No, thank you so much. I try to go to the gym. I try to stay fit. I started doing some martial arts. But just like you, I recently moved houses, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sorry, my English isn't best. And I haven't been to the gym since. It just got stuck there. I didn't have time or energy. And now I do have time and energy, but I'm kind of like, I'm back to like where I started.
Right, where it's just more convenient just to kind of chill out and maybe I'll go tomorrow or something like that. But I just have the convenience. There's a gym downstairs, so I really have no excuses. I can just walk downstairs or an elevator or whatever and then just go.
I used to jump rope all the time because, well, not all the time, for like 2 months. But I did it like almost every morning. I woke up super early and I jump roped. And it was really fun because I just listened to podcasts and jump roped at the same time. And it was just me jumping up and down to like either music or a podcast. But now whenever I wake up, I'm usually editing this podcast. So I cut exercise sort of out of my schedule in order to edit this just a little bit better.
That's some good dedication right there.
I really liked the working out, and I especially like working out with friends, but unfortunately, I keep saying I just moved here. I've been here almost a year. So, I can't really say that anymore.
I feel like in California, that'd be the easiest thing to find, right? You finding people that want to just go onto the sidewalk, Venice Beach, I don't know. Don't they have big workout places there?
Yeah. LA Fitness is the big thing here. I actually had an exercising buddy for a while, but then we got jobs and we started hiking less and less. Hiking is the big thing here because there's Griffith Park and there's Griffith Observatory and there's the Griffith Zoo. A lot of big Griffith parks are around here, and it's excellent to walk on the mountains because it's beautiful here. Like, I sort of go in and out of being like, oh, well, maybe I shouldn't have moved here. I always go up on those mountains and I look out and I'm sort of reminded why I moved out here.
Is that why you moved out there?
No, it's for money and bitches, so let's be honest, but that's what I say to inspire people, okay?
Of course. I wish there were more scenic places in Tampa. Oh, what am I saying?
Oh my god. I'm just driving around and it's beautiful and everything is blue and water.
Oh yeah, no, I just put my foot in my mouth because we can walk like 5 feet and look at the bay and it's pretty scenic.
Yeah.
Yeah, way to embarrass
mind.
yourself in front of the guest.
I thought he's the guest today.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Way to embarrass yourself in front of your co-host.
That's true.
Or, fuck, whatever.
I'm so glad you had me on today, Gage. Do you have any questions for me in particular?
Yes. Jean-Claude, when is the next animation you're doing coming out?
You know, that is a very good question, and I have been hard at work at that back in the studios.
You're like a politician with these sort of questions. You're like, we're doing everything we can. This was a terrible tragedy, and we're going to fix it to make it better. But you never
Are we
do
working
it.
on animation? Yes, we are. Is it going to come out? Yes, it is.
That's a hot new update.
I'm sorry? There's a hot new update on what?
I said that was your hot new update.
Oh, thanks, man.
Because you... I don't want to sound like I push you, but like whenever you get an animation done, it's usually a job for like me or something.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's definitely something that puts a fire under my butt.
Which is, yeah, for better or for worse, when you have deadlines, you always make them.
Thanks, man. But there's a couple animations ideas that I have on the back burner, but they're literally just in the idea stage currently. There was something that I thought of the other day that if I wanted to make an animation simply for the fact of gaining viewers and subscribers, there was something I could do. 2 ideas, actually, that would probably garner a lot of attention. The first one, either of you ever heard of YouTube celebrity, Video Game Donkey?
Yes, he is hilarious.
He is very, very funny.
The Dark Soul
Yes.
videos just had me on the floor.
They're so good. So he put out a series where he played through Mega Man 2, and he just does a commentary throughout 10 videos of him just playing through Mega Man 2 and talking about this crazy-ass story that's going on in the background while he's just playing Mega Man. And I've been wanting to just animate over his dub just the story and just kind of animate all the scenes that he's describing. And I feel like that would garner a lot of attention. My second idea, which I would be even more excited to do, would be if I could come up with just a really over-the-top, stereotypical Japanese anime intro, but for the show Scrubs.
Oh my god.
Just like super over the top dramatic. All the characters just like looking into this stage or looking into the audience, just like doing some crazy
with
looks.
The tilted camera angle, looking at a low angle.
Exactly. Just some punk rock Japanese ass music in the background while this is going on. I feel like that would be pretty popular.
And then the twist at the end would be Scrubs, season 9.
Oh, no.
Everyone gets really depressed whenever I say, hey, remember the last season of Scrubs? They're like, yeah, Scrubs season 8. I'm like, no, season 9. And then they get really, really, they're like, did that have to happen, guys?
Yeah.
That was probably the worst thing I saw on television.
That was incredibly forced. But David, you originally got your background teaching kids in high school, correct?
No. I learned how to edit videos when I was 13 making skateboard videos, how most editors learn how to edit. I was just a terrible skater, and my friends were good. So I could ride the skateboard, I could film it, and I could edit it. So that was my purpose in life in the age of 13. And then my high school had a film program. That kind of kept me in school, because I was going to drop out of high school, and I failed every class other than my film classes. And
nice.
The funniest thing that happened to me was the look on the principal's face when he found out that my former teacher hired me as the editing instructor. So this principal that just hated me so much, thought he got rid of me for good, and now he's paying me money.
That's epic.
Yeah, that was probably the sweetest revenge I ever had on someone.
Living well is the best for revenge, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
I was very happy that you stayed in school because of editing, because that was like sort of my thing too. Well, I was going to finish high school regardless, because let's be honest, I'm Southern born, raised with a good Catholic family, do-gooder. But I forgot my point. I was more passionate than film than sciences and math, I suppose. And that's where I exceeded. And the school system fails. I don't know. Just continue with your story.
Well, there's not that much to it. To clarify, what I did would never fly in the US. I'm from Israel, so it's like the Wild West out there. So my teacher just hired me without asking anyone, and it kind of just worked. I don't think what he did would ever work in the US.
Probably not. There are a lot more regulations, especially nowadays in terms of who you can hire and what kind of background checks and what your credentials have to be in order to succeed in these. I think nowadays you are required to have a degree in teaching in order to teach any sort of curriculum.
God, yeah. The degree system is so messy. Like, it used to be you got out of high school and then you got a job somewhere. Now it's you have to go to college to get a job. Now it's you have to get a master's and get a job. Now, I said now like 3 times, but...
Well, you're right. It switches from day to day.
For now, it's like, go to college, get a master's degree, get an internship, unpaid of course, and then get a job.
Yeah.
It's just incredibly competitive and incredibly unlikely. It's just who you know, really.
Yeah. I considered teaching when I came out of undergraduate. I started doing my master's, and I wanted to start doing some substitute teaching in the meantime at some public schools and stuff like that. My first choice was the school I went to high school at, which was a private school, and I wanted to teach generally whatever they would let me. Chemistry, biology. I really wanted to teach physics if I could. They only hire people from within the school to do substitute positions. So apparently the substitute teaching system in public schools is a bit more lenient. You have to go through a training course that's not expensive and it's not like anything long. It's kind of like a CPR course kind of format. Mm-hmm. So you do a little course like that and then you're allowed to substitute teach within your county or something like that. So I considered doing that for some extra money, but I never got around to registering or whatever.
Have you ever taught anyone anything? I did not mean that to sound as condescending.
Are you capable of teaching people the little knowledge you know, Jean-Claude?
In a professional setting, no. In Carlos and I's landlord, Miss Ping Wu, had a nephew that was not doing well in his science courses or generally any of his courses whatsoever. So I'm pretty sure both Carlos and Dianelis, his girlfriend, tutored him in English. And I was his hired tutor in chemistry, mathematics, biology, and chemistry, or I think I said chemistry, physics. So generally he's just science tutor. And oh man, that was rough.
Yeah, he was hopeless.
Oh yeah. He was actually a rarity in my perspective because I always find it's like super chubby white kids that are super into anime and that whole lifestyle. And yet here is this very Chinese boy who is just like die-hard anime, 100%. He wouldn't trim his fingernails, which were super nasty.
Gross.
He would come in, we have this glass tabletop that we would study at, and I would see him under the table with his like sharpened fingernail carving in anime faces into like the smoked, or what is it, fogged glass table or whatever. So he would do that. And then when I asked him, just like the normal questions that you ever ask like a kid, you're just like, do you have a girlfriend? Da, 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 da. And he very bluntly told me that he's not interested in real women because anime women are so much cuter, and he wished he could find like a woman in real life that was as cute as an anime girl.
Oh boy. How old was this kid?
13, 14. He was getting there. He's getting to that awkward puberty stage, so he's just gonna...
He'll figure it out.
He's gonna grow up to be a psychopath.
Yeah, he's gonna jerk into some weird stuff for a good while and then become a psychopath.
Well,
so.
I like David and I's opposing views. How I'm like, yeah, I think he'll figure it out. David's like, no, psycho, through and through, hopeless.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm very pessimistic about
hope for
people,
the future.
People.
Oh, just people in general.
No, not just people. Just kids jerking it to anime.
Oh, okay.
It leads you
Speaking
down
of
a dark
children
path.
jerking to anime, that's like one of the reasons I really admired you in college.
Wait, okay.
Hang on.
I have to let you elaborate, okay?
Let me elaborate. Oh, hang on. Remember that one time I found like a mini SD card at your house? And I'm like, oh, this is probably, we'll call this guy Adam. And I'm like, this is probably Adam's. And I looked on it and there was a bunch of hentai. Do you remember that?
Wait, whose house?
It was your house.
My house?
Yeah. I found a mini
Really?
SD card with a bunch of hentai on it.
Holy shit.
Was he the guy that just would randomly show up at like our parties, Carlos and I's parties? And
Yes, probably.
Pretty much.
I think the last time I saw him, he was having a huge argument with John over feminism.
Sounds like him.
He was one of those men's right advocates or something
gotcha.
like that. Like, oh, Lord.
Sorry, those people really exist?
Yeah, those people really exist.
Ugh. I thought everyone was playing a big prank on me.
No,
but anyways, back to admiring people. I admired David because like he always, I don't want to say legions ahead, but he was way ahead of me in terms of like cinematography and production and editing. But he always treated me as like an equal guy. When he says like he doesn't have hope for kids, I highly disagree because that guy had hope for me.
Wow, well, I appreciate it, Gage.
Oh, yes. Sorry, I just unloaded like a big, hey, this is why you're great.
No, that's beautiful. I'm crying.
he is. I can see
Yeah.
it in his eyes.
Yeah, I'm putting water from my glass on my eyes right now.
Well, I can't see you because...
Yeah, that's what I'm describing. But no, it did. I really don't think I was legions ahead of you. You always had cool ideas. You always had cool visions and way more motivation than anyone to follow through with everything. And I think that's a really unique quality.
Thanks, man. Thanks, man. Speaking of licking each other's buttholes, we are doing a pretty good job of that right now.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
I will go ahead and add one more little lick in there. That's actually a pretty admirable quality about you, Gage. I have the ability to come up with some neato ideas, but they'll just go on the stack. Like I literally have a stack of ideas that I just toss more things onto and never get back to. But you actually, if you have an idea, you'll stick to it like a leech until it becomes something. And that's pretty cool.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Even if your leeching causes it to die off, at least you did it.
Yeah, that's more than 90% of people, I believe, that can say.
Aw,
impressive.
Thanks, guys. That's why I like you, so you can suck my dick.
It's a tasty one. Metaphorically.
It's a metaphorically tasty dick.
But yeah, that's what I admire about David because he's very supportive, but at the same time, he has those ideas that he will call you out on your bullshit. But at the same time, he's like, yeah, you're really great at this. But at the same time, you need to shut the hell up.
Sounds like what I look for in a girlfriend.
Yeah.
It's very nice.
Yeah, actually, thank you guys for that because, like, I needed that because I've been working really hard on, speaking of which, the Lovecast, and that's been eating up a ton of my time.
Is it ready to boop? Ready to boop
I'm
out?
about an hour in, and I have about 50 minutes left.
Oh, goddamn.
Oh, wow.
I believe in you.
Thank you. Anyways, I'm sorry. Back on subjects. What were we talking about?
So, let's switch over and talk about... Actually, David, every time I see you, I talk about and ask you what you do at your current job. And I always forget. So please enlighten our audience and me.
I am a broadcast technician. Really, I don't think it describes well what I do. I work for a university, and I put most of the sports that they play on ESPN3. So I have to learn how to work all the stations. That includes replay, graphics, TDing, which is technical director, which I'm getting the cues from the director and cutting it accordingly. I did camera work back in Florida State a lot. That was the main thing I did there. As a student, not as a employee. Beyond that, I have to go shoot features on different athletes, and we're branching out into different academic programs, so I'll stream like the School of Music concerts and stuff like that.
That's awesome.
It's a really versatile job. And the technician part, I guess, comes in. There's a lot of technology that goes into broadcasting all that, and it almost 90% of the time fails 10 minutes before we go live. And it's my job to keep a cool face and just go figure out what's wrong and fix it. So it's a nerve-wracking job, but I love it.
Holy shit.
Oh, yeah.
That's intense.
Yeah, that's a lot of responsibility to have.
That reminds me, in terms of like things breaking down right before you're ready to do it, that reminded me of my day today. So once a month at the clinic, we do a procedure called an ESWL, which is short for extracorporeal shockwave lithotripsy. Basically, if you have renal stones in your kidney, they'll come in with this machine and just kind of thump it out of you.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
But you're under, for all of this, you're under anesthesia, so you don't have to be awake while they either fragment it into a bunch of pieces that you can just pee out or just break it apart.
Yeah, you pee blood out for quite some time after that, correct?
You can. You get a lot of soreness. You can get some bruising. It's pretty crazy of a procedure, but the last time that we had it done, it's these people that we hired that come in this company with their machines, and we brought them in from New York. And since the physicians that we flew in from New York came into the office, they brought along an anesthesiologist and all this kind of stuff, but they didn't have any of the equipment that they required, and that's their job, to bring along this stuff, because that's what we hired them to do. Mm-hmm. And so they come into the office, the triage room where I work, and they're just asking me, do we have IV bags? Do we have things to hook up IVs to these patients so we can put them under and all this kind of stuff? And I had only been working there for like a month and a half at the time, so I had no idea, and everything was just going to shit. And these people, like patients, were just waiting in the waiting room, like hopped up on their Xanax or whatever the hell they were on, just waiting to go under, and it was a shitstorm. And that's medicine as well. Everything can go to shit really fast, and it's bad, but you gotta pick up the pieces and keep a calm face.
Yeah, I kind of find that even in the craziest moments, it kind of finds its way to a solution, and I just learn not to panic anymore.
Yeah. That's a good skill to have. And that's sort of where I work best. If things are boring and things are slow, that's when I'm like most miserable and I don't really know what to do. And that's when I make my most mistakes. But when like the pressure's on, I'm able to like zone in and do pretty well.
Yeah, I do that too. Whenever like a million things come my way, I just sit down, start doing it, and laser focus on one thing. And whenever people ask me questions, I'm like, just not now. I'll get this done, and then I'll get whatever you want done. Then I'll get the next thing done. It's really weird because I go into almost like a
Zen state.
Yeah, like a Zen state where I'm just like doing kung fu and stuff and work at the same time. It's really weird. When I get the busiest, that's when I get the most work and most productivity done, if that makes sense.
I love that feeling. I love that feeling so much because like right now I have no sports going on, so it's just 9 to 5 in the office and me scratching my nuts. Mm-hmm. And it feels like forever.
It's boring, yeah. It takes forever. It's awful.
And some days I work 12 hours and it feels like an hour. Like I'm in, I'm out. I was like, what? This was not 12 hours. But just the feeling of knowing exactly what you need to do, that only happens to me when there's just crazy pressure. Yeah, it's just like a different state of mind that you're in.
That's some biology shit going on there. Some survival instincts kicking in.
Yeah, if anyone can explain it, what's happening, it's you. I'm dumb as fuck. I won't know what to tell you what's happening.
I'm not gonna.
I'm not going to.
I'm not gonna do
We've
that.
already established John Claude is not fit to be a teacher.
True. Absolutely true.
You can always answer as like, I would explain, but you wouldn't understand.
God.
I would have totally accepted that answer right now.
No. Oh, I actually have a brilliant story that I heard today. So one of the other medical assistants was explaining to me the story. So we were talking about residency, and when you finish medical school, you go into your residency, and how every resident is extremely competitive. It's an uber competitive field because everyone tries to do something first, and you're trying to gain favor in order to go into a fellowship. Everything in medicine is a competition. So she's telling me about her friend who was a resident in the ER, and she brings in a patient. It's this old Hispanic man, and he doesn't speak a word of English, so she brings him into the room, and she's talking with him, and she's trying to go over his history and then trying to figure out what tests to run. So she leaves the room to go kind of set up for an ultrasound of the man's heart. and one of the other residents comes in, this cocky dude, and there's always one who just kind of is the pompous guy and he knows everything and he thinks he runs the place. So he walks into the room, reads the first thing on the guy's chart on what might be wrong with him, and as this guy, this old man, is just kind of laying back in the bed, just kind of relaxing, waiting for his ultrasound to be done, this resident comes up to him and gives him what's called a cardiac thump. And it's basically where you just kind of thump someone's chest to restart their heart if they're going into cardiac arrest.
That's what I thought it was.
So this old man is just laying back on his bed, and this resident walks up to him and just thumps his fist onto this guy's chest. And then the other resident, her friend, runs back in. She's like, "What are you doing to my patient? Oh my God." Rushes in. And after this guy thumps him and she rushes in, he like wakes up like and sees her face and like stares her in the eyes. And all he can like muster out of his lungs is just like, "Por qué?" Basically just saying, "Why did you thump me?" And then proceeds to die.
Oh my God. That's the funniest story about someone dying that I've ever heard.
So...
Okay.
And she can't sleep for like 2 weeks afterwards because she keeps seeing this man's face, and the last thing he sees before he dies is thinking that she just killed him.
Oh man, we're all going to hell.
My cheeks were hurting so much today in office when she told me that story. It was...
That's hilarious.
It was...
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I'm sorry for the dude.
I know, but it makes for a funny-ass story.
That's a really good story. He died for a good cause.
It sounds awful to say, but I'm looking forward to my residency just for weird-ass stories like that. Not that I want to kill someone, but...
You want other people to kill other people.
and not to sleep for weeks.
The only work stories I've had recently where I work over at a movie studio. I don't want to name which one. I work on a lot and I do tour guide stuff. And I saw 2 t-shirts that really intrigued me. One was like adorkable. It always gets under my skin when people are like, "Oh, I'm so quirky and different. Gee whiz. Oh man, you just wouldn't get me because I'm so much more different than you. Your favorite movie is like Pulp Fiction? Ha, well I like 500 Days of Summer or something."
Those are always the best people to talk to.
Yeah. What shirt was this person wearing?
Oh, they were just wearing a shirt that said adorkable. And I'm like, yeah, I don't like you already.
Oh, I thought you were describing the shirt as adorkable. Like,
Yeah.
I understand now.
They labeled themselves as adorkable. If you call someone adorkable, that's fine. It's a little cringy, but whatever. But if you label yourself as adorkable and quirky, you're not one of my favorite people because you're already trying to be someone else.
I can understand that.
And the other shirt I saw had a girl on it, and she had her hair like flipped to her upper lip. So it looked like a mustache, but it was still clearly her hair. All it said was, "Hello, everyone." And I'm like, I have to ask, what is that shirt? And she's like, "Oh, it's a YouTuber." And it kept me awake. Because let me explain. Because think about it. This girl has a catchphrase which is simply "Hello, everyone," and she has a mustache on her upper lip. And she thinks that idea is so good and so revolutionary, she put it on a shirt. She had someone work on that shirt, probably mass produce it, and sell it to little children.
Yeah.
And it baffles me. "Hello, everyone" is now a catchphrase and can be marketed and put on a shirt just because you put your hair on your upper lip.
You should do that, Gage. You should shave off some of your pubes, put them on your upper lip. Come up with your own catchphrase.
Right now, everyone, I want to market our Almost Adults merchandise because we have the most hilarious shirts. We have a photo of John Claude's avatar just going, "Gage, please shut the fuck up for once in your life."
Yeah, I guess that's out by the time
That's your
this
famous
broadcast.
catchphrase, isn't it?
I've said that once or twice, yeah.
Buy it now for the short price of $1 zillion. Hang on, actually, that's a good question. What is the price of this shirt? I'm looking this up.
Oh, what's the price of the Hello People
Yeah,
shirt?
Hello Everyone shirt.
I'm going to take a bet and say it's $19.99.
I'm going to say $25.
That was going to be my number. I'll say it's on clearance now, so 15.
Okay, so I'm going to say $19.99, but with like $4.50 for shipping. But that places it around Gage number, so $3.50 for shipping.
Okay, all right. I'm on this Minecraft channel now, Hang on.
She's probably a Minecraft YouTuber. Speaking of merchandise and things like, and just making shirts. So I produced one shirt for my friend Alex for his birthday, and I've been wanting to make. I think I said in a previous podcast that I've been wanting to make more shirts.
Yeah, customizable shirts.
Yeah, recently I've wanted to make like a, what are they called? Not a wife beater.
Tank
but
top?
A tank top. Yeah, a tank top.
All right.
Because I've been wanting to wear a tank top when I go work out, because my shirts have just becoming really nasty, sweaty, and I want shirts that I can dedicate to working out. But I want to design my own tank top with like some cool design on it that I can go and be like, oh man, where'd you get that shirt? And I could say I made it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That would be good.
But
Yeah.
I haven't had any ideas what to put on the shirt.
I would do something in the vein of what you did for Alex. Just kind of customize yourself.
True. I could do that.
That's actually a confession I have. Is my biggest dream always as a kid was to have my t-shirt company.
Really?
For some reason,
Ooh.
I just love t-shirts. I don't know why. And I barely wear graphic tees anymore, but I love like looking at them online and just window shopping.
Yeah.
And saying, I would totally buy that and never buy any of them. But I really want to print t-shirts. That's always been a dream. And I think once I have some extra money, I might actually start doing that.
You should do that. I actually got, as a gift last Christmas, I got a gift from my aunt and uncle in Chile, where there's some printer that makes these one-of-a-kind kind of designs for shirts, and they found me a Wolverine one.
Ooh.
It's like a V-neck, and it has this really cool design of Wolverine on the front, and it's the only one of its kind, and that's just like a super cool idea. I feel like that's a little bit a bad marketing plan, to spend all this time designing something and then only sell one of it.
Yeah, that's terrible.
But I mean, I guess if you charge
Yeah.
enough for the shirt.
Yeah, it's like going back to what you were saying about the girl at the convention who did all the Avatar playing cards. She drew every Avatar character on those playing cards, and she charged $50 for it.
Yeah.
Which, like, you understand where she's coming from, but at the same time, it's a deck of playing cards.
Yeah, it's a bad marketing scheme, and there are better ways to go about it. So who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe that was just their ploy, and there are multiples of that shirt. Which
Also,
is
I
more likely.
apologize if I wasn't listening or responding. I was looking for that YouTuber shirt.
You're okay.
But I couldn't find it, which worries me because it still might be out there. But at the same time, it calms me down because I'm like, okay, if I can't find it, then how can anyone else find it?
Probably one of those shirts that's just like in the quote-unquote cool section of Target. You know, that section with all the Marvel t-shirts and like the Captain
But I
America
would
Shield
expect
t-shirt.
those to be like big YouTubers, like Markiplier or whatever.
She could be a big YouTuber. I mean, she could be like a Minecraft YouTuber and be bigger than we all know, but because we don't watch that.
That's true. Yeah. I don't watch Minecraft.
Yeah,
Let's
I wasn't
Plays.
aware of PewDiePie until like very recently. I've kind of fallen off
Oh,
following
yeah.
YouTubers, and I was like, oh wow, he's like the most subscribed ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we were watching that South Park episode at your house with
Oh, yeah, that's
with
a good
PewDiePie.
episode. Yeah.
There's
yeah.
a South Park episode with PewDiePie?
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
and Dodge was like, "Who the fuck is PewDiePie?" And I'm like, "Ew, I don't know him. I have no idea who he is." But I keep up with that sort of shit. So
Yeah.
I did, and I lied, and I felt bad.
I used to follow YouTubers religiously, but I don't know. I was a really big fan of those daily vlogs like CTFXC and Shay Carl and stuff like that. But I guess my life just started really rolling, and I went to college and stuff like that. And who has time to watch all like
Yeah.
10-minute videos of
Oh, yeah.
someone's? I just couldn't do that anymore.
Yeah. I used to watch like 10-minute videos every day, and I'm like, well, now I'd just rather work on my own stuff and create my own things. It's hard, guys. It's hard. I just want to watch YouTube videos, guys. Jeez.
What I always wonder about YouTubers is it's a very like tight community. Like I think like
It
the
is.
inner circle. So they're all friends. I'm wondering, how do they find the time to really follow each other's stuff?
That is true.
Because they all release so much content.
I don't think they do, to be really honest. I know within the animation community, if the animators don't live together and they're not all working on like the same kind of group of content, like maybe they have their own production kind of base or something that they do, if it's not through that, then they don't really know what the other person is working on at the time or what they just released. Usually when they go to a convention and they're all there together, that's when they catch up. It seems like that was the case with a couple animators.
That makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah. That's a very good point because, like, no YouTuber is going to watch PewDiePie's Minecraft Let's Play 1,000-part series
Exactly.
when they have their own shit to do. I never thought forgot about that. Huh.
I tend to watch a lot of, if I can't sleep or if I just want to relax. Have you guys ever heard of something called ASMR?
Yes, I have.
You have. Okay, so basically, I found out that I respond to this when I was...
explain it to our viewers.
I am. I'm going to. I'm getting into a story to kind of... An anecdote in order to explain this.
All right. We've been doing this long enough where you know where you're doing, obviously. So go ahead.
I found out that I had this ability to respond to this thing called ASMR when I was pretty young, in like 3rd grade or something like that. But I didn't know it actually had a name to it. Basically, whenever a speaker would come up and present something and they had a very kind of like calming or soothing voice or just a certain kind of cadence to their speech, I would get like this weird visceral tingly sensation across my body that's I wouldn't equate it to something like an orgasm. It's a lot less than that, but it's just like a soothing kind of like, oh, that's weird sensation. Turns out there's this string of videos that you can find on YouTube under the acronym ASMR. I don't really know what it stands for, but these people that have something where they hear a certain kind of like fingertips just kind of clacking on it or like hands across some fabric or something, and it causes like this weird sensation of just like tingling. Mine is whenever someone just like speaks softly in like a whispering voice and just talks me through like an instructional or explains something. I get that sensation. And so I was listening to this one person who was doing that.
Give her a shout out. Him or him?
I don't remember
him or
what
her
her name is, to be perfectly honest.
Okay.
So I can't. But I will say that she doesn't need it because one day I logged on and saw that she had like 1 million new subscribers. Literally overnight, 1 million new subscribers. And it turned out I was looking through the comments of videos why this was happening. PewDiePie mentioned her in one of his videos and thumbs her up, and then like just a mass exodus into her channel from PewDiePie.
Oh, good on him. That's sort of what you have to rely on when you're starting off anything artistically. It's like help from bigger people.
Yeah.
Who somehow would see your stuff.
I have this video that I shot like a very long time ago. It's like an infomercial. I don't know if you guys seen this. This is the most fucked up thing I've ever created. It's like this infomercial for a game on the Wii where you put in a CD and the Wiimote just vibrates, and it's called the Wiibrator.
That's brilliant. Oh man, how have I not seen this?
It has a few million views. I think it's my greatest work yet. But recently, every few months I'll log in and like look at the comments. So I logged in last time and everyone is there is like, how did I get from PewDiePie to here?
Oh no.
Oh no.
I was like, either PewDiePie mentioned me, like the Wiibrator on his video, or it's just for some reason in the suggested box for so many kids. Because there's like 9-year-olds that watch that. I was like, I don't know if they should be watching this.
The things that come up in the suggested videos are so strange sometimes. I do not understand it. But that would be amazing if PewDiePie was just like, oh yeah, the Wiibrator, check out this video. Even though I'm not the biggest fan of his.
No. He seems to like promote a lot of people. Anyways, there's a convention going on this weekend for YouTubers. It's called VidCon, and our good friend Carlos came out here and joined me in LA because VidCon is out here.
That's awesome. So is it already started?
Yes, it has already started. He has met Funhouse, I believe, and those people who did the dubstep guns.
Okay, cool.
And we went out for dinner, and that was nice, and we caught up and shit-talked everyone in college.
Nice.
Yeah, that was nice, but that begs the question, conventions, did we go to them?
No.
No.
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. This is a topic that we tend to harken back upon whenever we do a podcast. Yeah, I tend to go to a lot of conventions. There's one coming up in July that is generally our annual one for my group of friends from high school. And actually one of my good friends, George, who currently got a job in California, who is working at Google right now.
Oh my god.
Good on him.
Yeah.
This man is a genius. He is flying down just to go to this convention with us. And I guess that shows what it means to him. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm trying to decide right now what I want to go as. So far, our current idea is I'm going to go as Milo Thatch. My friend Connor is going as Jim Hawkins from Treasure Planet. And Alex is going as Per Cusco.
You know Treasure Planet was based off a book called Treasure Island, where there was also a Jim Hawkins, and
Yes.
it's probably a lot better known.
Yes,
Just checking.
But
just
he's
checking.
going as the character from Treasure Planet, so...
Okay. Is he going to have that little pink blob that goes...
Morph? Yeah.
I can't believe you know his name.
Yeah, more, dude. Like those 3 movies are probably remember me out The Emperor's New Groove. Atlantis and Emperor and Treasure Planet are super underrated Disney films.
I think Atlantis is gorgeous.
Yeah, but it was when Disney was trying to go a more I wouldn't say edgier, but a different route in their film style, and it kind of flopped a little bit in terms of reception. But that was our whole plan. I'd always wanted to go as Milo Thatch, and he always wanted to go as Jim Hawkins. So
Who is Milo Thatch?
Milo Thatch is the main character from Atlantis. He's
Yeah.
the dorky guy with the big Harry Potter glasses.
Yeah, I remember him getting a swirly in one scene, and he's like, "You can have my lunch money, just don't tell my dad."
For a second there, I thought you were being serious, and I was like, I don't remember that. What are your both's favorite Disney movies? I don't think I've ever asked you guys that.
Ooh, good question. Good question. Disney movies is a good question. Does Pixar count?
Yes.
Okay.
Up, by far.
Is it Up?
Yeah, it's Up.
Up is
For
great.
me, it always comes back to Toy Story, just because it's a story about mistaken identity, it's a story about friendship, it's a story about jealousy. It's something we all can relate to, and not to mention, it was revolutionary.
Yeah.
So it's always Toy Story. Toy Story 3 is close behind, but pure animated Disney, I think I would have to go Aladdin.
That is mine as well.
Yeah!
I used to say
Yeah.
Beauty and the Beast when a girl asked.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a good response.
Oh.
That is a panty
Now that
dropper,
I
if
think
any.
about it, I might like Beauty and the Beast a little bit better.
God, Gage.
I'm toying with everyone now. I'm sorry.
more attracted to you for some reason.
Yes, because no one talks up the Disney movies like Gage Stan.
Speaking of Beauty and the Beast.
That was dumb.
Got me giggling.
Speaking of Beauty and the Beast, there is a plug that I do want to do. If there are any people listening to this podcast who are interested in getting better at drawing or being an animator or anything like that, of doing paintings, they should check out a YouTube channel called The Art of Aaron Blaze. Aaron Blaze is one of the head animators, or was one of the head animators, doing stuff for Beauty and the Beast. And also, I think he directed animation for Brother Bear and stuff like that. Like, he was a pretty big animator at Disney for a while, and now he's putting out all these instructional videos on YouTube, and his stuff is fucking good. Like, just absolutely incredible. So you guys should check that out.
Yeah, we'll link it in the description. Just future Gage, remember that.
Slap it in there.
Yeah, I've been actually thinking that I'm trying to get into drawing because, I don't know, I just downloaded Illustrator. It was part of the Adobe package. And I started dicking around with it. I was like, it was really fun. I can't draw for shit. It doesn't look good, but I was just looking at designs and just tracing real pictures and doing stuff like that. And I don't know, it's just something so soothing about it.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it might be something I can get into.
There's kind of a very nice area of drawing where you don't feel like you're very good at it, so there's not the pressure of producing something that's extremely great, so you can kind of just enjoy the nature of drawing itself. Once you start getting into the levels where you actually feel like you actually have some merit of drawing and you actually have something to contribute, that's when you start really like self-critiquing, and it ends up becoming kind of a job. And you lose a little bit of the fun that just comes with drawing whatever and not judging yourself so harshly. I guess that comes with everything.
Yeah, that's why I don't like editing anymore.
Yeah.
I hate editing.
Exactly, because you go back and you self-critique as you go along, and you're just like, oh, I can do that better. And
Oh, I do that with writing. For me, I was just like, I know this can be better because it's so subjective. If you just put in like, oh, just make one of the characters a girl, it could change the entire thing. It amazes me and frightens me so badly.
There was a pretty prophetic video that I watched on YouTube. I can't remember the man right now who produced it, but he talked about the waves that come along with being in creative content. So he explained it as when you come in these waves in terms of appreciating your own work. So you'll have a wave where you've just gotten better at doing this, but you haven't gotten better at critiquing things. So when you look at your work, you're like, wow, I did something, I've never done anything this good before. And then at the bottom of that wave, you've gotten better at critiquing, but you haven't improved at all in creating. So when you look back at your work, you're like, oh man, this is shit. Like today I'm just doing so badly at my work. When you're improving the whole time, you're just improving in different respects. So today you might be better at critiquing and like looking at things, so you think that your work is shit. And then the next day you'll be better at producing rather than critiquing, and you're saying, okay, today's work is really, really good. You don't ever like really step back.
Right.
I was just rambling.
No. I feel like I do that too often. Like, I step back and I look and I'm like, I can't really improve this, but really the only way I can improve is actually doing that. But I get so frightened and bottled up for myself when I kind of critique everything and I look at this big whole thing that I need to improve on, and I get really scared that I end up just not improving at all. But I've learned to just do that thing, and it might come out good, it might come out like shit, but you gotta just do it to get better at it. That's how I learn. So David, keep drawing. That's what I'm saying.
I will.
I'm really fascinated. I'm starting to get into the animation scene a little bit more thanks to John Claude and like the podcasts I listen to. I feel like if I started drawing, then I would want to do animations, and then I would almost require myself to do those animations. But like, you bring up a really good point. I should be drawing because it's fun.
Yeah, for a while there, I mean, there's also different sects of animation. I assume by animation you're currently doing is stuff like in After Effects in terms of animating in that respect? What do you mean?
I'm not animating at all.
Oh.
That was my point, because I'm so paralyzed by fear that my stuff won't be good that I just don't do it.
Right. Well, I should caution beforehand that my area of animation is strictly 2D. I don't know anything about 3D animation or currently like any of the puppeteering kind of stuff that people are going into. That's a big portion of it. And 2D animation is pretty damn hard, and also it's just dying out. So everything Pixar related or anything Disney right now is all 3D.
I don't think 2D animation is dying out, because
No?
you still got shows like Adventure Time and Rick and Morty and stuff like that are just blowing up.
True.
Maybe in movies, but I think it's going to stick around for TV and definitely the internet for a while.
That's a good point. I guess I forget about serialized. I guess in feature length stuff, you don't see any more 2D. Yeah, because Disney finished its last 2D major film with Princess and the Frog.
Did they announce that they're not doing anymore? Or
I think that was the whole thing. I mean, Gage would probably be better on thumbing this up or down.
For the history of that, I believe that they wanted to make Princess and the Frog like it was going to be their big comeback to 2D animation, but it ended up sort of being their swan song. It was still good, but it just didn't make the amount of money that they were hoping. That's what I believe. Very well could be wrong. Please correct me if I am.
Send Gage a Twitter thing with the answer.
Yeah. Just send all the tweets my way, as it always is, because one of us refuses to get a Twitter.
I'll make it eventually.
Yeah, eventually. No pressure.
Yep. How long does it take to set up a Twitter account?
Like 5 minutes.
Okay, maybe I'll make one.
I use it to engage other artists and to promote other artists, actually. I actually did that with Nick Terhorst, who you kind of got me into, and I'm looking at her animations and I'm looking at her pictures and I'm really liking them, and I'm really liking her stream and sort of getting into that.
Yeah, she's got good content. She's very good.
Yeah, really good content, and she's doing a Kickstarter soon. I'll put that in the description too, because it should be launched by the time we release this.
What is the Kickstarter representing? Do you know?
I do not, so check that out. Yeah, I engage with her sometimes on Twitter, which is really cool, because otherwise I would not have done that and engaged with that person.
Plus, she's a cutie pie, so bada bing, bada boom.
Bada bing, bada boom. David, you don't really use social media that much anymore, do you?
I used to use social media a lot more. For some reason, me and Grace got rabbits, and now that's all I post is rabbit pictures.
I'm sure that's getting a lot of hits, no?
Oh yeah, I did the Snapchat filter on the rabbit.
Oh, the
Snapchat
rabbit on the rabbit?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That was probably my greatest hit after We Braider. But I don't know. I kind of fell off Facebook. I don't really care. I'll still go on it and stalk people, but I don't post that much. I think Instagram is really my thing. I just take some photos. Trying to get back into it, though. I realized I neglected photography for about a year now, so...
I like your post on the Facebook would be like, hey guys, it's really cool that you post spoilers when some of us have to actually work and we'll torrent it the next day.
Yeah.
I was like, thank you, finally someone said that.
Because, dude, like, I'm at work all day, and again, it's the summer, we have no sports going on, so I'm basically on Facebook all day, and I can't be on Facebook on Monday, and I'm addicted to it, so... Yeah, I just keep getting spoiled. I can't stop.
Yeah, me too. You know who's the worst at that? I'm gonna call her out right now, but Camilla.
Really?
She is the absolute worst on Twitter and Facebook. She's like, oh, this character is dead. Oh, well, it looks like that this character will not having a dingus anymore. And I'm like, why do you do this to me?
Yeah, that's horrible. I haven't caught any of her Facebook posts, but actually Grace sent me this article this morning. There's an app now that you can, I think, like put someone's phone number in there or something like that, and it just keeps sending spoiler messages.
Oh, I saw that. You send it to your enemies.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
That's right. That's brilliant.
Dude, that is the most, like, how that Mojo Jojo meme, that's the most evil.
So evil.
Yeah, Camilla's the worst at that. But she doesn't respond till like the next day, and by that time I'm over it, so I just end up having a pleasant conversation with her.
I never got the chance to interact too much with her. I always got the impression that she thought I was a dickhole.
I don't
Did she
know.
just have that kind of personality where she was just kind of snarky?
She does have a very snarky personality, but she's very, very nice, and she's always good to talk to.
Yeah, I bet.
What I wanted to say that she likes Minions.
Yeah, she is obsessed with Minions.
Oh my god.
If I ever met someone that's obsessed with Minions, that's her.
I never understood that craze, unfortunately. And there's like now Universal rides revolving around it.
That's a good ride, though.
Is it?
It's a
Is it?
really good ride. Yeah,
I
I
don't know.
really enjoyed it. I went on it twice already.
I mean, I liked the first movie. I did. But I don't know. Things like that just seem like blatant.
Did they really deserve their own movie?
I didn't watch the movie.
No.
But you
no.
know it made a shitload with the kids and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah. And that was right after Michael Keaton was doing Birdman. He went into that movie, and I'm like, poor guy. Poor guy.
I just don't understand. Sometimes it just makes me sad that people will do things strictly for the marketing and for the money of something rather than any sort of value towards society or something like that. Like, the original movie, Despicable Me, it was a cute movie and it was good and it was, you know, there was merit to it. And then they just found that there was an audience for these little minions and they could exploit it and really make it boom. But I don't know, maybe I'm just being cynical.
No. I think we're all sort of...
Yeah, I disagree because let's say someone just walked in right now and said, "Hey, Jean-Claude, David, Gage, if you do this podcast again, but all you talk about is dick, ass, and farts, but you'll get like $2 million, I would do it every day."
I would do it every day. Okay. All right, never mind. Yeah, I'd sell my soul for that amount of money.
I would do that, but like that's so subjective. And like, what's the anatomy of an ass? And how does one produce flatulence? You can make it like a really scientific podcast. You can make it a really comedic podcast. You can make it a really dramatic podcast. Just for those topics, you can sell out, but you can make it good. Like, I think the Lego Movie is a perfect example of that.
Yeah, I agree with you. But even if I was required not to add value, I'd still do it. I'd sell out in a second, just no one wants what I'm selling.
Hey man, you just got engaged. Someone wants what you're selling.
Yeah,
Ooh,
the
yeah.
one person.
And she wants it for life.
I'm waiting for her to just sober up. It's like, what the fuck did I just
Wait
sign
a
up for?
minute.
She's a sweetheart, though.
Yeah, Grace
is.
is wonderful. She's a bit shy, but once you get talking to her, she is a chatterbox.
She is extremely introverted. She's probably the most introverted person I know. But you put 2 beers in her.
Just a whiff of beer.
Yeah, and she's a different person. I remember the first time, I think Cedric and Mark saw her, like, interacting with people and stuff like that was at your house.
Really?
During the Halloween party, where she just got hammered in her, like, little Agnes costume.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah, she was so hammered that night, and, you know, everyone went up to me and was like, "Oh, now I see why you like her so much." It's like, because she's like that with me all the time, just not with strangers, and everyone kind of like didn't understand why we're dating because we're so different, but yeah, then they saw that side of her. It's like, oh, now we understand. Yeah, we balance each other out. Yeah, that's definitely what's going on, because I calmed down a lot since we started dating, and she's been opening up a lot more to people and stuff like that. So we definitely learned a lot from each other, and yeah, you know, that's been part of the amazing journey that made me get to the decision that I want to propose to her.
Yeah. This might be a little too personal, and tell me if it is, but could you like describe like how you came to that conclusion? You already sort of briefly explained it, but how you kind of came to the conclusion that like you're gonna marry Grace.
There's all these logical explanations that I can give you, and I kind of give myself, but to be completely honest, I never really stopped to think about it. It's just we both graduated from Florida State, and then we decided we are going to move in together, and we're just going to move to whoever gets the first job. And she got the job in DeLand, and I immediately got a job in DeLand afterwards. So that worked out. But it just always felt like the next step, and it just felt so natural. I just found myself as like, all right, I'm like making a steady stream of money, so I should just start saving up for a ring. And then I got the ring, and it felt natural. I never stopped to think about it because it just always felt like this is what I'm supposed to do. Not in a sense of like her family's expecting it and shit like that. It felt right to me, and it just, I don't know, it just happened. Like, I think after she said yes and like we calmed down, I was like, oh shit, man, I'm engaged. What? How did that happen? What? Yeah, like I kind of like woke up, and you know, it was a really weird experience, but I don't know, it just felt natural.
Yeah. I asked because I'm always interested to hear people's explanation for that, for how to get married, because I don't see myself getting married anytime soon. But people just say, like you said, some people say it's natural. Some people are like, well, it seemed like it was about that time. And I felt like I had to. It's very interesting sort of hearing those perspectives.
I was thinking like that up until when I met her, and I know for a fact she was thinking the same thing, because both of us were like, we're never gonna meet someone worthwhile in Tallahassee, because that city is just...
It's Tallahassee, yeah.
It's Tallahassee. It's just such a bad city. But again, that just shows that you never know. And both of us were like, we have like careers to develop. At that point, I thought I'm going to LA, and I'm like, no offense, I'm just happy I'm not. It's just...
Oh, I see how it is.
No, because I moved into this, what you would call a small town, and I never thought I'm a small town guy, but I'm loving every second of it. And then we went on vacation to Miami, and I was like, this is cool, this is awesome, and the art and the people are amazing, but I would never live here. Like, and I always thought I'm living in a big city. It just didn't fit, like the traffic, the crowdiness and all that. I just like, I enjoy my small town. I'll come out to big cities for vacation, but I just realized that I just didn't like it. But I digress.
No, this is all interesting stuff.
That's a little bit of maybe like the introvertedness that accompanies it. I mean, I'm the same way in terms of I can go out and I can interact and enjoy the big city and all the stuff that's going on, the bustliness. But yeah, I love being able to go back to a cozy little town and being able to recharge. It's natural and comfortable. It's homey.
Yeah, and you know, there's some small towns that are better and some small towns that are extremely bad, because Tallahassee is way bigger than DeLand, and I hated Tallahassee, and I felt there was just less to do in Tallahassee than there is in DeLand, to be completely honest with you. I don't know, I just love it. Everything is local. There's no strip malls, no nothing like that. Like in Tallahassee, it's just strip mall after strip mall. And there you just have like the main street and everything is local. There's like 2 record shops. I was like, how many people live here? Like 10 people. Why do you need 2 record shops? But it's amazing, and I really enjoy it. And it's close enough to a big city that I can like get that out of the system as well.
I'll have to go and visit sometime and check out DeLand.
You're more than invited to come. I have a guest room now. I feel like an adult.
Oh, you got a guest room.
I got a guest
I'll make
room.
up the guest bed and put out the nice throw pillows.
I don't have those yet. But it's almost adults, not adults.
That's true.
John Claude, get him some throw pillows.
That's what I'll get. Oh yeah, do you guys have like a registry or anything like that yet?
Ah, dude, we don't even know when it's happening.
Okay, gosh.
It's
Oh,
happened
wow.
last weekend.
Yeah, I thought about this on like the drive over. I was just like, oh man, he's engaged. Does that mean I have to be old enough to like get presents for people on their registry and shit like that? Oh man.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Oh no, you're good.
How dare you, David? I have to buy stuff for you and celebrate your eternal
Rocketed
love.
me into adulthood.
That's actually a very American tradition. In Israel, people just give cash, and I know here it's like considered extremely rude.
Yeah,
but
which I
I'm
never
like,
got. I'm like, cash is great because you can buy anything that you want. Whereas, like, if you just get a toaster, you're like, well,
Yeah,
I
that's
already have
actually
a
like
toaster.
the stupidity behind gift cards. People feel that it's going to birthday parties or for Christmas or something like that it's rude to just give a person cash, and that it's a little bit more accepted to give them a gift card, which is just,
That is dumb.
it's dumb.
If you give me a gift card, I will spit on you.
It's just money, but like very restricted money.
Yeah,
It's-
you have to go to a specific place like Outback Steakhouse. You're like, now I gotta plan my night around Outback Steakhouse. Thanks.
Yeah.
Which, like, don't get me wrong, Outback Steakhouse is like damn good. I like Outback.
Oh, that's
which-
best case scenario if you get Outback Steakhouse.
Yeah, but even if you give me the best gift card to the best place ever, I'm still gonna resent you. It's like, why are you making choices for me?
You don't know.
Is that your present authority? Really? Thanks.
God, and who knows whether or not like the next Outback Steakhouse might be like 2 hours away from your small town. I don't know. Maybe your town doesn't have an Outback.
Well,
so.
I think we should go and get some Outback together because I am really hungry now.
Yeah?
Yeah, that got me going.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Outback is damn tasty.
John Claude, use our almost adults budget to treat David to some dinner.
Okay, I'll use the business account.
Use the business account. It should be under Gage. Wait a minute. Okay. Well, anyways, that's been our show. Any final thoughts from John Claude, David, or Gage?
Oh, let's see. So, man, sprung that on me. David, do you have any compelling final thoughts?
We were all over the place with this one, I think.
We were.
David, have you listened to our podcast? We have been all over the place.
Yeah, but I enjoy that. I enjoy that aspect of like not really dictating conversation, but let it evolve naturally. I think that's a good direction to go in. Final thoughts? I don't know. Just
What you thinking? What you thinking?
I like the theme we were talking about when we were licking each other's asshole about how you just go with what you want to do. I think that's like a nice note to end on, is just like, if you have an idea, like, you're your worst enemy. Just stop critiquing it and just do it. Worst case, it bombs.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even say worst case. Worst case is you complete it and no one sees it, or that they do see it and they don't give you any good critiques. That's what bothers me the most.
But you're still in a better place than if you have not done it at all.
Exactly.
And to finish that up, if you're looking at your work and you feel like you weren't as good as you were yesterday, you are. If not, you're better, but you're just better in different respects. And just take that into account, that you improve every day. You can never take a step backwards.
Aw, that's great. My final thought is follow us on Twitter at almostadultspod and follow me on Twitter at Gage Agnew, and email us at almostadultpodcast@gmail.com, and give me cash instead of gift cards, because I'd really appreciate that.
I actually think that's illegal to ask for cash on it.
Really?
I think so.
Don't give me cash. Don't give me cash. Don't give me any money
really
whatsoever.
I'm pretty sure it's illegal to, like, unless the legality is you're not allowed to just directly ask for money. You have to provide a product in return. If you provide a service in return or something like that. I guess as a podcast, if you word it in the way like, for listening to this podcast, feel free to make a donation. If you word it like that, then it's legal.
So homeless people cannot have podcasts.
Nope.
That was a horrible joke. I'm so sorry. That was completely...
Thanks for listening, everyone.